Alright everybody, so I just gave all of these cast irons that we've used today and last night a good scrub down. And what we do after I scrub them is we put them on the stove top and turn them on high and make sure that everything gets very, very dry. Because you don't want to leave any moisture in your cast irons. It leads to things like that. I don't know if you, yeah. And then once they're dry, I will take a scoop of our lard that we rendered. It's a very nice clear lard. But I will take a scoop of that and put it in one of them. And then we just take a rag and rub it down all over the inside. And then while they're hot. You want to do that while they are hot, because it'll absorb the oil in and help keep your pan well seasoned. So anything that I may have scrubbed out, scrubbing them down really good, will absorb right back in. And I will show you what they look like when they are all finished. Alright, and this is what the pans look like when they are all finished. You can see the smoke coming off them. I did rub in the lard. And what I'll do is, except for this one because I'm about to use it to make dinner, I will stick these in the oven and let them cool and absorb that oil really, really well. But that's my easy cast iron care. Like I said, when we clean them, we just scrub them with hot water. Excuse me. And if something is really stuck on, I do have like a steel wool scrubby that I use. But we cook on cast iron for pretty much everything that we cook. So we got to keep them in good shape. Check in with you guys later.
Well, I'm starting my day off by taking down the power cable that ran to this light, which it still technically does. And now it doesn't. But I needed that out of the way so that I can, well, I'm gonna have to get that light down. It's probably gonna have to move up at least one. But get that done. Hopefully be able to get that all squared out today. Tether it in to this cable here. And then one switch and we'll have lights all the way across the front. But had to get up there and get this one down, which didn't actually show it. Took a piece of chain, made a loop, widened this gap a little bit. I'll see if I can get to a decent spot on the wall. But did that so that I could slip it over one of the bolts, and then I put another nut on there so that it would hang. Tethering it in, I'm not gonna have to do that, but the chain actually holding that light, I did the same thing, only just a much, much longer version. So I'm gonna have to get up there and get that down, which I'm not a fan of the height and the wobble on the ladder, but worse things. I figured I'd show the other end that I've been working on. Alright, right there is an outlet. Now I have ran an extension cord back and along to there, and over to this side and along here. And it's currently just kind of suspended and runs right to the door. Now that extension cord leads to a second one. The second one runs back and to here. This one is actually made to take, well, it's made with 3 plugs. So the pig light, the chicken light, once I get another extension cord ran, the light over the stalls that I've been working on, and we'll have one master source to deal with all of it that is right at the doorway, which is a severely beneficial thing because that allows us to kill the power or turn everything on all in one convenient location. Now, the extension cords being suspended the way that they are is temporary. The lighting that is in here currently, well, somebody's gone through and sectioned out. Some of it still works, some of it's just been completely cut. Like that one right there still works, and that's the farthest one on this end. So, well, the other problem in that is that the light switch for that is at the plug that the extension cord is hooked into. Not the best spot for it as far as convenience. In order to get to it, you have to walk along that. And then that second switch goes to upstairs. So none of that was put in super convenient locations as far as, well, our situation. Well, this light is now tethered in right there. It is pulled back just a little bit, and there is still just a little bit of slack in the chain that's holding it. Grab my trash. But now we have light. Okay. Well, added to the pigs' bedding. Made them a new trough, but apparently it's a play toy right now. But they're keeping themselves pretty occupied at the moment. May wind up getting them a little bit more. Probably will. But piggies are happy. Well, I gave them a little bit more. I'm gonna hold off on anything else going in here because, well, I don't want it knee deep on me, making it extremely difficult on them. Except I don't think it'd actually be extremely difficult for them. But they have more than enough to make a nice little nest over in the corner, or bed, or however you want to call that. Time it's done, it'll remind me of a bird nest. So And they're happy. They're tromping around in it and rooting around and everything else. So, yeah, like I said, I'm not going to add any more at this point. Keep an eye on the level and add when needed.
Alright, everybody, tonight for dinner we are having beef stroganoff, and I had a large 3.5 pound English roast, which is part of the shoulder, beef roast. And I've already sliced it into little slices, and then we're going to cut it into thin strips. I only need about half of it for dinner, but what I'm going to do is just cut up the rest of it into small chunks and brown it off, and then refreeze it, and we'll probably use it in chili or something over the weekend. But just wanted to check in with you guys, show you what I'm doing. Still haven't quite gotten to the seeds yet today. And then we still have the pig head to clean so that the broth can reduce overnight tonight. So I will be checking back in here in just a little while. Alright, so we have our beef cut into tiny little chunks for when I make chili this weekend. And then we have our strips for dinner tonight. And I don't follow recipes. And you guys are always saying that my food looks delicious, and I appreciate that. And I really wish that I followed recipes and I could just give you a recipe to go along with. But I don't follow a recipe. I just literally, I have made stroganoff so many times. I know what goes into it. I know what we like in it. I season the meat, sear it, make the cream sauce. My channel that I had before we came here was called Iron Momma. And I do usually, when I comment with that one. But it was a cooking vlog. And I would show all the ingredients, but not necessarily how much of each to use, because I think that it's more personal taste and personal preference rather than following an exact recipe. I don't think there's anything that's an exact science about cooking. So if you want to look, I do believe I have a beef stroganoff recipe on there. So if you want to look over on the Cast Iron Momma site, I'll link it in the description, and you can see what recipes I have over there. Alright, so I have my little bits of beef browned off. Those are good and ready. Let them cool off and get them in the fridge, like I said, most likely for chili. And then we have our stroganoff going. I've added everything in there. The noodles are in there cooking. And you just let the noodles cook until they're just about done. And yes, my pan is pretty much overflowing. But that's how much it takes for us to eat. But you just let the noodles cook slow and absorb all of that liquid. And then when the noodles are just about done, you put a lid on it and let it sit and let everything just soak up the flavors. And then dinner is all done. So that is where we're at right now. I will check in with you guys in a little bit. Alright, everybody, there is our finished pot of beef stroganoff for dinner. We are going to sit down and enjoy our meal. And then I will get to the cleaning the pig's head. So I'll check with you guys later. Alright, everybody. So here is our pig skull fresh out of the roaster. When you pick it up out of the roaster, everything just kind of falls out. So you kind of just got to have a pan there to catch everything. But all of this meat here and here is what came off of the cheekbone and jawbone areas and all up in through here. And then this is the tongue. I did already take the skin off of the tongue because you have to do that when it's pretty hot. Otherwise it kind of sticks and then you can't get it off. But there's your tongue. And that just gets cut up with the rest of the meat. But there's what we have for tonight. The broth will simmer down for another day. So that way it reduces down. Makes that nice gelatinous stuff that you want in order to make head cheese. But this is where I'm going to leave you for the night. I'm going to get the meat separated from the stuff that you don't really want. That's like the gooey stuff. You don't really want that in your meat or anything that's white like this, because that's all skin and tendon. But I'm going to get that separated, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.